Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, one of the most amazing computer RPGs of all time, maybe one of the most amazing video games of all time. This game does things that RPGs just don't generally do, and does it in a fantastic manner. Some of the designers that worked on this game also worked on such games as Fallout 1 and 2, the original Wasteland, Planescape Torment, Arcanum of Steamworks, and Magic Obscura. They are split now, a lot of them, between Obsidian Entertainment, who made Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, and In Exile Entertainment, who made Wasteland 2 and 3, and Torment Numenera. So, with Bloodlines 2 coming out, I figured it would be a good time to dive back in. Now, I have applied the fan patch, the plus patch, which fixes a lot of bugs, updates graphical fidelity, new textures and things. It's still going to look like a game from 2004, but a little bit more polished. Also adds in some content that was intended to be into the game, but didn't actually make it. I'm going to try my best to have to edit as little as possible, so this may be a little rougher than what you've been used to from me in the past, but unfortunately I just don't have the time and stamina to put in the hours and hours of editing that I used to. Nevertheless, I think we're going to have a very good time. Let's hit new game. I think I know what I want to do. I've played through this game several times before, though not in several years, as different clans. And the different clans that you play can make the game a completely different experience. Malkavian was hilarious. These guys are absolutely insane. You hear whispers and voices, things of that. For a first playthrough, I definitely do not recommend Malkavian, though, because a lot of the time it's really hard to even tell what the dialogue options that they're giving you are meaning that you're going to say. Nosferatu's also probably not great for a first playthrough. Nosferatu are incredibly ugly. They have to travel through the sewers, aren't really welcome in public. You violate the Masquerade that way. This game is based on the original World of Darkness, which had Vampire, the Masquerade, obviously, Mage, I think the Ascension, Werewolf, several others, remade or reissued in recent years under Onyx Path, I think. But anyway, I think what I want to do is go Brujah. Brujah are passionate idealists and rebels, as you can see in the text down there, more likely to fight for their rights than write protest songs. In life, they sought social change and undeath. Most clan members commonly seek the creation of a vampiric utopia. However, I'm going to change some things around. I am going to be female. I don't think I've ever played through the game as female before, and I'm pretty sure there are some female-only dialogue options. We are going to name ourselves Celeste, and I'm going to take a history of, I think it's Voyeur website model. Yes, I want to swap the order of, priorities to social, then physical, then mental. I want to do a lot of social interactions. Despite Brujah being very, very good at fighting, I want to also be good at talking, because there are so many interesting dialogue options in this game. But also the background description is pretty hilarious. Maybe you weren't the prettiest girl in school, but you could still make dirty old men sit up and beg. And pay for it. Hey, it beats taco hell. Absolutely. So, alright, so this is a thing that's added in the plus patch, not the pus patch, thank God. That skips the intro. We want to see the intro. So we get 1 point to place into physical. Strength affects unarmed combat and melee combat. Unarmed combat also affects how easy it is for you to feed on somebody when they're resisting. Dexterity is for lockpicking and sneaking. We're going to be doing a lot of lockpicking, maybe some sneaking too. Stamina helps with bashing, soak bashing, okay, and unarmed combat. I think we're just going to go straight and play into our Bruja strengths. We get a +1 to melee and unarmed combat, and I think my cat just closed my computer room door. You might have heard that. Either way, hopefully they won't be too distracting. We're going to put a point into strength there. So over here, charisma affects persuasion. Manipulation affects haggle. And appearance affects seduction. We definitely want persuasion and seduction. I'm not too keen on haggle. I don't really care. We're going to get so much money over the course of the game, it's not really going to matter. It's also best to put as many points into a single thing as you can, because the way the leveling system works in Vampire is each one of these pips cost exponentially more than the previous one. So we get 2 pips for the same cost here, whereas if we take 1 in charisma, 1 in appearance, the third pip's going to cost us more. So we want to put both of these into one of them and then level up the other as we go. So I think what I am going to do, just going off my memory, is go for seduction first. This also helps us feed off of unwary kine mortals. We can seduce them, and then if you seduce them, you can feed on them in public, and people just think you're making out or something. So we're going to put both those pips in there. We don't get any for mental. We're not super smart, though we will be putting things in there as we go. So we get 3 points in talents. We probably want... intimidation is a thing that we can do that is also social. I think we want to try to go with persuasion and seduction, though. Brawl is good for unarmed combat. Dodge is good for defense. Subterfuge is good for seduction. We can get our seduction ridiculously high. And we do want to put all the points that we can into one thing. We may not ever have to raise seduction again if we just put all 3 points into seduction here. Although it might be good to get at least 1 point in brawl. Nah, I'm just going to go. We're going to go straight, play into our cam girl background there. We're going to be completely and utterly ravishing. Then we don't really want to go firearms. Firearms are good in the game. And we may have to use them at some point, but Bruja get bonuses to melee, so that is probably what we want to put them into. Although security is good for lockpicking, not super fond of stealth. There are a lot of locks to pick. We may not have to fight straight off, and maybe we can talk our way through things. Also may make it more difficult, which could be fun. Let's go ahead and just put 2 points into security, so we'll be decent at lock picking. We get 1 in knowledges. Computer helps with hacking. That's also something that we want to do a lot of. Although most computers in the game that are necessary, you can find the password by looking around in the area, but it's nice to not have to do that. Finance, again, I don't care about haggle. Investigation is okay. This lights up things in the world that you need to notice. Scholarship, though, is very, very important, and I may just put a point in that. We have to have a certain amount of research. You can see it affects that over there. To read skill books that you find throughout the game. Each one requires a certain level of research to be able to do that. So we want to get that up as quickly as possible. Yeah, let's go ahead and stick that into scholarship just right offhand. And then we have 1 point to put into disciplines. Now, I know the discipline, all of these are useful, but the discipline I really want to get a lot of is celerity. I've never really played a character that had celerity in this game, and I expect it's extremely powerful. Celerity means that you can move preternaturally fast. According to the description down here, the world will seem to slow down while we remain unaffected, and then the higher that you go, the more powerful it is. Potence grants us supernatural strength, that could help with our fighting, and presence helps with just projecting how much of a killing machine monster you are. But I think we're going to go with celerity and be super, super fast. Alright, make sure we're not missing anything. Just to explain a few things for those of you who are not familiar, humanity is something that we have to have. Although, I'm just going to read the description down here. Although monsters by nature, most vampires cling to humanity to survive in the mortal world. Humanity is the ability to keep your predatory nature at bay and your first line of defense against frenzy. If you cause the death of an innocent human, you will lose humanity. You will frenzy more often if your humanity is low. So we want to keep our humanity as high as possible, especially as a Brujah, because we have -2 penalties to our checks. Also want to keep our blood level up, because low blood can lead to frenzy. Masquerade is the code of vampire society that hides us from humankind, from the kine, from the cattle, from our food source. If we expose ourselves as supernatural, then we get masquerade violations, which can draw vampire hunters, other supernatural monsters can come hunting us. So we have 5 masquerade violations that we can violate, I guess would be the term, before we lose the game. Also, if our humanity drops to 0, we just give in to the beast within us and we lose the game. But let's see, auto level is off. That is good. Let's do this. Ooh. Got clothes hanging on the dresser. Show me, Daddy. Well, I think we got more than we bargained for in this tryst. Ooh, we are a bad girl. We got drugs on the thing there. Cause they were in prescription bottles. Maybe they're things we need. Maybe we're diabetic or asthmatic or something. Oh, you're still here, are you? Oh! Not for long. And game over, folks. Thank you for joining me. I will see you... Just kidding.
My fellow kindred, my apologies for disrupting any business or interfering with prior engagements you may have had this evening. It's unfortunate that the affair that gathers us together tonight is a troubling one. We are here because the laws that bind our society, the laws that are the fabric of our existence, have been broken. As Prince, I am within my rights to grant or deny the kindred of this city the privilege of siring. Many of you have come to me seeking permission, and I have endorsed some of these requests. However, the accused that sits before you tonight was not refused permission. Indeed, my permission was never sought at all. They were caught shortly after the embrace of this child. It pains me to announce the sentence, as up to tonight I considered the accused a loyal and upstanding member of our organization. But as some of you may know, the penalty for this transgression is death. Know that I am no more adjudicator than I am a servant to the law that governs us all. Let tonight's proceedings serve as a reminder to our community that we must adhere to the code that binds our society, lest we endanger all of our blood. Forgive me.
He seems insincere, I think.
Which leads to the fate of the ill-begotten progeny. Without a sire, most children are doomed to walk the earth never knowing their place, their responsibility, and most importantly, the laws they must obey. Therefore, I have decided that...
This is bullshit!
You tell him.
All I'm saying is that he better not do it.
If Mr. Rodriguez would let me finish. I have decided to let this kindred live. They shall be instructed in the ways of our kind and be granted the same rights. Let no one say I am unsympathetic to the plights and causes of this community. I thank you all for attending these proceedings, and I hope their significance is not lost. Good evening.
Yeah, pretty sure he was going to sentence us to death until Nines Rodriguez spoke up there. Also, a lot of the characters, if not all of them, that we saw in the audience back there, we're going to run into them throughout this game. So keep your eyes peeled.
Your sire, tragic, my apologies. But you see, there is a strict code of conduct that all of us must adhere to if we wish to survive. When anyone breaks these laws, they undermine the well-worn fabric of our centuries-old society. Understand my predicament. Allowing you to live makes me directly responsible for your subsequent behavior. So, what I'm offering is not generosity, but the opportunity to transcend the fate woven by your sire.
I mean, that sounds good and
This
all.
is your trial. You will be brought to Santa Monica. There you will meet an agent by the name of Mercurio. He will provide the details of your labor. I've shown you great clemency. Prove it was more than a wasted gesture, fledgling. Don't come back until you do.
All right. Thanks for nothing, Prince. Mercurio, though, is a very Shakespearean name. Let's try to remember controls here. As I said, it's been a while. So we gain some light clothing, normal computer control keys, auto move, toggle, walk, run keys. Yeah, we can go third person, first person with Z. Sure. Hello?
What a scene, man. Hoo-wee. Then they just plop you out here like a naked baby in the woods. How about that? Look, kiddo, this is probably a lot for you to take in, so why don't you let me show you the ropes? What do you say?
So, if you hadn't gathered, this is an invitation to do the tutorial, which we will be doing. Have to relearn how the game works after all. And I think you get some things in it, like a gun, weapons, something. By the way, unless I'm mistaken, the voice actor for this guy, Jack, is the same guy who did Bender in Futurama. So, my friend, who are you?
I'm Jack. What's important is I'm offering help. You make it back from Santa Monica with your hide and we'll trade life stories, okay? Till then, I got about this much time. You in or out?
And I guess I neglected to mention it, we're going to be playing this Brujah lady as though she is an Irish immigrant. Maybe her father was part of the IRA, which leads to her rebellious nature and striving for social change. All right, then. I could use the help.
All right. Why don't we, step out back here?
Yeah, let's get away from that horrible place.
Christ, it's stuffy in there, huh? This is much better. Now, we ain't got much time, but I figure somebody should fill you in on the bare bones stuff at least, you know. Could save your hide. You look wobbly. You even had a drink yet?
What do you mean? A drink of what?
Oh, man, we're popping a cherry here. Oh, you're gonna love this. All right, check it out. Blood, it's your new rack of lamb, your new champagne. Blood, your new fucking heroin, kid. Get ready, though, because, hey, it's never as sweet as the first time.
I mean, that's what they said about sex, too, but I beg to differ. What do I do, though?
Well, down around the corner there, I saw this human. Poor SOB can't find his car.
So, do I just go up there and be like, sir, can I bite your neck?
All right. You go down there, casual like. You creep up on him. Then bare those little fangs and feed. Don't worry if you weren't captain of the wrestling team or something, because it'll come so naturally you think you've done it 1,000 times already.
Alright. It's been one of those nights. I could use a drink. And he will not become a vampire. That's not quite how it works. Turning in Vampire the Masquerade, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, is very similar to how becoming a vampire in the Anne Rice books goes. They drain you to within a centimeter of your life and then feed you their blood.
Now go for it. Be sure, though, and this is important, so listen up. Be sure not to drain them dry, okay? It might be hard to resist, but don't kill them.
Alright then. This is your blood pool. Yeah, over there to the right. All vampires get blood heal. I see that that's the skill that's over there. And we can go through that with the mouse wheel. Blood buff is also a all vampires thing. Gives us +2 to all our physical stats. In the original game, I believe it was +5, but it capped at 10. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It's a less of a buff in this, +2, but if you are max, then it goes higher. Or wait, hold on just a second. So I guess it capped at 5 max. Well, whatever. Either way, from what I read, you can go higher with this, though it's not as big a buff overall. Cause blood buff in the original game, the +5, was an encouragement just to never put points into physical attributes. Oh. To feed approach, press F. Important that they don't see you. Alright, don't drain them to 0, because that will get your humanity. Hello. Apparently he is oblivious, because he definitely did not even notice us. Keep a good watch on the blood bar there. And stop. Yeah. Left him with maybe a quarter of a pint. Rest up, buddy. If I had a cookie, I'd give it to you. Thanks for your donation.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, you're feeling it. I can see it in your eyes. You're a born-again predator. Feeling that blood bubbling inside you, lifting you up. That's it, kid. That's what it's all about right there.
Great. When do I get my cape? Do I get to pick the color?
Alright now, you got the blood, you're feeling all kick-ass, feeling better than your best day living, but wait, it gets better. All kindred, that's our word for vampire. All kindred have a few things in common. Things that set them right square above humans on the food chain.
Yeah? Do tell.
Like sharper senses, a body that can take a beating, and if you play your cards right, eternal life. That's no sure bet, but still, a chance at immortality's not a bad deal. And that's just for starters. Fringe benefits for joining the club.
So what? I'm going to live forever then?
Well, you can still be destroyed, but forget the books and the movies. Garlic, it's worthless. A cross? Pfft, shove it right up their ass. A steak? Only if it catches you in the heart, and then it just paralyzes you. Running water? That's no problem. I bathe. Occasionally. Now, a shotgun blast to the head. Oh, that's trouble, boy. Fire? That's real trouble. Sunlight? Well, you catch a sunrise and it's all over, kiddo. Get it?
Oh, I get it. Don't want to be a crispy critter.
Okay, now. The fuck is this?
I don't know. You tell me.
You get inside here and get upstairs. Meet up with me. We'll see what the ruckus is.
Alright then, you do that. Watch your back. Okay, uses E, like most first-person games. And give you a little glimpse of third person. And I think it automatically defaults to third person for melee and brawl. Ooh. This is in the source engine, if you couldn't tell. So doors are occasionally a problem. Yep. Jump to space. We're trying to go uppy toppy. Oh, and see the glittery there? That's what inspection, higher inspection makes more of those things glitter. Your feats are the combinations of your various abilities and attributes. The higher your feats score, the better you are at the activities they influence, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. Yeah, I am going to pick up that lockpick that looks like a Swiss Army knife. Ooh, looks like we got an office here. Die, my darling? Is that a band of some sort? Oh,
Come down here. Stay away from the windows.
How'd you get up here, Jack?
It's a Sabbat raid. The Sabbat, they're, Christ, I was hoping to spare you this shit till later. The Sabbat, well, they're mostly mindless, bloodthirsty assholes. That's all you need to know for now, alright?
Right. And unfortunately, for those wondering, this is an older game and it doesn't have the various volume adjusters. I just have a main volume knob that I can move around. I'll show you. Options, audio. Yeah, see, I can't do voices, effects, and music separately, unfortunately. Although I did look up and find a way to replace the licensed music with non-licensed music, so we will not have to worry about copyright claims or anything. So, what's up?
The Sabbat got wind of the gathering here, so they figured they'd raise a little hell and put a little heat on the new prince.
What's the prince a prince of?
No time for political rundown. Job one, get out of here alive. Sabbat might be mindless, but they hit like a Mack truck, like raging savages. Nothing a fledgling like you wants to mess with.
Aye, and from what I can remember too, they don't really care about exposing themselves. So, what am I to do?
Shh. Heads up. Back
Oh,
away.
looks like they got some submachine guns there. He's got arms all the way down to his ankles, Jack. How does one get that to happen? Yeah, if you hadn't realized that was the executioner, he is a beast. And he saw us.
Dumb, frenzied Sabbat bastards. Alright, we gotta vamoose out the back quick. I'll stay and keep a watch out. You get us into the office. The door's around the corner here.
Alright, I'm on it. Access your quest log with L. Sure. So, always wanted to try this. I do remember that we picked the lock over there and then he ends up here ahead of us. I think he breaks this window. Can we do that?
I'd be pissed if this wasn't so cute.
Uh-huh, yeah,
Look at
sorry.
You trying so hard. It's absolutely precious.
That's hilarious. Sorry for hitting you there, Jack. Oh, okay, so I can't
I'll be right here.
talk to you again. That's fine. We'll just go ahead and go back over here and lockpick. Yeah. Looky there, we're a natural. Of course, it's only difficulty 1, so no big deal. I think every single starting character can pick a level 1 lock. See, he came through the window. That's not fair.
Shortcut. Well, nicely done, though. Not exactly an angel in life, were you?
I mean, I know how to handle myself. You have to. A lady's got to know how to stick up and watch out for things, you know?
Cool. Now, if you want a lesson on how really not to act, take notes from those Sabbat assholes. You're a big bad vampire. Yeah, great, congrats. Now keep it to yourself. You go roar and you beat your chest, and that's what you can expect.
To get eaten by spiritual wolves? Wait, I've still got that list of people from high school. Why can I not, pay them a nice little visit?
It's the same reason you don't let humans see you feeding. It's why the wolf doesn't want the sheep to know he's there. It's also why you don't go juggling dumpsters or outrun the 815 from Sacramento, and it's why you didn't know any of this when you woke up this morning.
Oh, well, that's a fair point.
Keep our secret secret and you make things easier on all of us. We're living in the age of cell phone cameras. Fuck-ups ain't tolerated. Makes sense enough, right? Well, it ain't a casual thing for a fledgling like you.
What do you mean? What could happen? I mean, we know what could happen. We could get executed by spiritual wolf boy.
That party back there with the guy in the suit and the McGilla gorilla? The assholes that put your sire to death? That's the Camarilla. They make a tidy business out of enforcing vampire laws like this one.
Right? So what you're saying is that they've all got sticks up their collective arses.
Alright, now don't worry, because I know the area a little, and you know what? I'm glad we're in this situation, you and I. It illustrates a point. You gotta utilize your surroundings.
Okay, but what does that mean exactly?
You do what you gotta do. Theft, destruction of property, breaking and entering. These will be the least of your sins before the night's out. So look around here. We gotta get out the back there through that magnetically sealed door. There must be a key someplace.